right to sit in your own garden on a nice day.
Yeah.
You can't plan anything. You can't have a barbecue because if it comes down, you've had it.
And I do sympathise, trust me. On that basis, on the last report that went out, Advanced Proteins quite happily stated, and freely stated, and openly stated, that they are now subject to what they call unannounced environment agency visits.
Yeah, because they're letting them know when they're coming.
And
they're cleaning the place up, it's obvious.
But they are now subject to unannounced.
Whether that will happen though, it just seems like they're exempt from everything.
Well, I can only say that the managing director has promised me a statement about the recent odours tomorrow morning. As soon as I get that, it will be shared.
I can't understand why every other big company who has to really adhere to safety and smells and everything else, they're spot on with it, but it comes to Advanced Proteins and they do not give a damn, basically.
They have extended the opportunity to visit, and you guys are going to take them up. I've actually been around the factory, as have other councils.
Did you see all the trailers stacked up with full of offal that's...
Absolutely everything, it was another. But that is their business. I'm not saying that doesn't mean to say, so you get the smell. It is their business. We were not made, they won't stand on something when we had the visit. Just one moment from there. But they have extended to anyone that lives in the area a visit at their pleasure. And what I really would recommend...
I really am bothered what goes on at the factory as long as it doesn't affect me and the rest of the residents.
The factory, that when one of the incidents before, they did have a boiler go down, and it was hands up, the boiler went down, we had to get it replaced. It was one boiler. I don't know if you know the differences in the categories of...
I know, because it doesn't interest me, really. It's just the fact that we're living the life of hell at the moment with their penny pinching, basically. And that's how I feel.
You go and visit. I'm not here as an ambassador.
To be honest, I feel sick enough. It puts me off food. You know what I mean? It makes me feel physically sick. The smell does. It's so bad.
We don't want you to be an ambassador for them either.
No, and that's not why I'm sat here. I'm sat here to acknowledge that our representation and the views of councillors and yourselves should be made, and the conduit, if you like, to get comments to them. And on the other information that I am going to get in more with, we've got council here who may be able to add a bit more to this, but the increase in blue tongue at the moment is causing...
I mentioned that after the issue, yeah. Increase in
what's
blue tongue? Maybe in Devon and down there.
But the part of the transport, Advanced Proteins, go from Devon to Perth and it gets processed.
It's another in between.
Yes.
Well, I'll
come back to you, Margaret.
Oh, sorry. What?
Can I just go to my...
Yeah, of course, yes.
Well, I know the place very well because they are very big hotel. And I know what's happening. I had several complaints with this recently. People can't eat food, can't do anything, never tell you what's happening. They're making money. So, by that, as soon as the truck comes, it's door to shut.
Yes.
Completely. They're not doing that. Keep waiting.
They're opening them.
Opening the
So,
doors.
as far as I'm concerned, it's gone 360 degrees back again.
Yeah.
And you're on the committee, right? I'm representing because there when I was a district councillor. As I'm concerned, you used to be appointed and talk to them. But this is complete system change. So all I'm saying is on the committee, you have to do something. Because Parliament is literally more complaints than anything.
Yeah. I rang them at 4 in the morning. I'm on the Christmas card list for the Environment Agency. Every solitary time I smell it, I'm on the phone. I've been on the phone till 4 a.m, 5 a.m, because it's woke me. I have to put Vic under my nose because the smell is so horrific. And the fact that, well, you should go up and visit, no, I don't care, you know.
Why did you say this to you? We never speak to one another, pointing at me.
Yeah.
But then we speak to one another now, because obviously life is too short. But I'm glad this issue has been discussed here, and now that the chair will decide, she's on the committee, and you kind of warn. The normally you are sitting to the telephone number for the agency to ring direct. And you remember how many of these
Ring them all the time. And the people who answer the phone are fabulous. But you're there, your complaint then goes into the ether. There's nobody there.
Because I'm the district council, so I'm asking the inspector, go outside, knock the door, tell him what the problem is.
Yeah.
If he doesn't come to your house, and I'm ringing on myself, I said, can I meet you?
Well,
These are the recent complaints.
yeah.
The first column is the complaint. The second, the date of, and the reference number and the date it was reported onward. And this is just a few months. That's from the Environment Agency.
That's your ring.
60
That's your ring.
complaints.
Thank you, Jeff.
And that is
It's wrong. It should never be happening. If I live near a nuclear plant, would I expect to get the odd dose of radiation poisoning? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
what I understand, there always seems to be a reason. So, for example, well, it's hot now, but we've known for a number of years the summers are going to get hotter and the winters are going to get colder. So, what investment has been put in place? Those plants probably set up to withstand a temperature of about 30 odd degrees. It goes beyond that and they have to open the doors. What should be happening, the investment should be made to be able to sustain the heat that we are getting.
Yeah.
And to me, it does feel like profit over evil.
Definitely.
Volume, where you just said about this blue tone or whatever, that was going to increase the volume. Back in 2001, we had a massive amount of epidemic in this country. And when it was poisoned, they took the brunt of it.
Yeah.
We had more smell then, but we were all aware this country has been decimated of why.
Yeah.
So we put up with it. It was awful at the time, but it was nowhere near as widespread as it is now. You would get the smell in Shelton, and that would be it. Whereas now, you've got people in Cheadle, you've got people in Endon.
And most of your mothers in Wellington.
Yeah, Warrington.
Kingsley,
And it's more consistent. It's all the time. It's been suggested, it's just the lorries. The lorries do make the smell, but it is a different
It's
type of
definitely,
smell.
definitely.
You can tell if it's a lorry or whether it's
You
from
can.
the plant. With the lorries as well, they are spills. I can't recall ever having spills.
We have had some.
So the next volume that we're getting.
No.
1987,
Yeah.
1988. I nearly got covered. I was
Oh.
walking my dog.
I was
Came down Wellington's all over, big road, and it
Yeah.
all came under, and luckily me and my dog
Yeah.
escaped by.
Yeah. My husband was in the police force and he used to have to go up to the factory.
Right. I'm stag corrected.
Yeah.
Polly
It just
Lane.
feels to me there are excuses, reasons, call them whatever, but it seems to me, it's all out of our control. But in 2001, they coped with it.
Yeah.
11 o'clock? Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from. Obviously, I don't live here, but I did drive home the one night and I thought, what is that awful smell? I was
Yeah.
smelling my own armpit, but
Yeah.
it was me,
Yeah.
and it was why I was going to race. But I think what we need to do is address what we're going to do forward and not look at what's happening right now, because that's not solving the situation. So I would suggest if at the next meeting, if the two representatives could speak to environmental health and get a report from them, because it's not, obviously the reports from Andrew himself as the managing director are all well and good, but they're not solving any issues. And then do we also write to the MP, because Karen she's 70, she's on and maybe she can put a bit of weight to it, because
We shouldn't have to to be putting up with this in 2026. That factory should be able to do what it needs to do and where we need, and for us to live happily together, not to make us not even be able to sit in your own garden or not to be able to open the window in this heat.
I've got a report in front of me, why haven't you?
I've got the Environment Agency last report of July, and in their monitoring, what I can say that they are doing is coming back to the hot weather contingency climate. It's not going away, it is a thing of the future. There were actions